friends, today I want to talk about a different way to graph. Another video we talked about graphing using slope-intercept form, and another video than that we talked about graphing using plotting points. Today we're going to talk about graphing using intercepts. Now, intercepts is a fancy word for where the line touches the x and y axis. And if we know where it touches the x and y axis, then that gives us enough information to connect those dots and draw our line. Sometimes this is the easiest way to graph a line. Sometimes it's easier to use slope-intercept form, and it's just a judgment call on your part of what's going to work better for each case. All right, so if I want the x-intercept, and from here forward, I'm going to rewrite that as x with a dash int, x-intercept. To find the x-intercept, we're going to set y equals 0. Now the reason for that is on the x-axis, our y value is 0. So that gives us an easy way to track down where that x-intercept is going to happen. For our y-intercept, and again, I'm going to abbreviate that as y-int from here forward. Well, you can guess, to find the y-intercept, we're going to set x equal to 0. Now, this is going to be true whether we're dealing with a line or a quadratic or something else. This rule always works. This is always going to be true, no matter what you're dealing with. All right, so let's look at an example. So my first example I want to look at is the line x plus 2y is equal to 4. And we're going to graph it using intercepts. All right, so for that x-intercept, well, my rule says we set y equal to 0. So that would be x plus 2 times 0 equals 4. Well, zeros always make things easy to simplify. 2 times 0 is just 0. So that tells me that x is equal to 4. So x-intercept, I set y equal to 0. So that tells me the point is going to be x equal 4, y equals 0. Let's find the y-intercept now. So for the y-intercept, remember we set x equal to 0. So 0 plus 2y is equal to 4. Well, that means that 2y is equal to 4 and y is equal to 2. Remember, to find that y-intercept, we started with x equal to 0. So the point would be x equals 0, y equal 2. Now that I have these 2 points, I can put them on a graph and draw my line. So let's go ahead and draw the graph. I'm going to draw my x-axis, which is my horizontal line with arrows on both ends. Perpendicular through the middle of that, I'm going to draw my y-axis, which also has arrows on both ends, and I'm going to label those x and y. In each direction, I'm going to add a couple of tick marks so that I can graph my points. All right, so first I'm going to plot the point 4, 0. So I'm going to start at the origin. I'm going to go 4 in the x direction and 0 in the y and place a point there. Remember, we were looking for the x-intercept. It showed up on the x-axis just like it should. Next, let's plot that y-intercept, which is 0, 2. So I will start at the origin. I'll go 0 in the x direction and 2 in the y direction and place a point. Remember, 2 points determine a line. Now mine's not going to be as straight as it should be because I'm working on a glass chalkboard here, but we're going to try to draw a straight line through this. Hey, that's not too bad. So we've connected those dots with a straight line, and I could label it x plus 2y equals 4. And there's my graph. Now, let's look at when is this a good method to use? This is a good method to use when you have both x and y on one side, number on the other, and when the number on the other side is divisible by the coefficients on x and y. In this situation, the coefficient on x was 1. That makes it easy. Coefficient on y is 2, and 4 is divisible by 2, so this was a good option. Not every case will happen like that, and so it's good to have many different tools in your toolbox to use for all different situations. All right, let's look at one more. I'm going to say let's graph 2x minus 5y is equal to -10. Now, when I look at this equation, I know intercepts is a good idea because 10 can be divided by 2 and 10 can be divided by 5. All right, so my x-intercept, I'm going to set y equal to 0. So 2x minus 5 times 0 is equal to -10. 2x is -10, and x is equal to -5. Great, one down. So that would be the point -5, 0. And let's find my y-intercept. For the y-intercept, we set x equal to 0. So 2 times 0 minus 5y is equal to -10. Minus 5y is -10, and y is equal to 2. So that gives me my second point, which is 0, 2. All right, let's graph these. So just like before, I'm going to draw in my x and y axis. X is the horizontal line. Y is the vertical line that runs through it, and there's arrows on the ends of both. And I'm going to mark off 5 units in each direction. And we'll plot our points. So, first one I'm going to plot is my x-intercept, and that's going to be the point -5, 0. So I'll start at the origin. I'll move -5 in the x direction and 0 in the y and place a point. Notice again that point landed on the x-axis just like we thought it should. My other point is 0, 2, so I'll start at the origin. I'll go 0 units in the x direction and 2 units up in the y direction. And we're going to connect those points with a straight line. Whew, that one wasn't quite as good, but that's okay. And I'm going to label it. Okay, this is a great method to use in a lot of cases, and it's a good addition to your graphing toolbox.